300 series, complete engine failure. Well, I know it sounds pretty bad, but it's not all that bad. I'm gonna show you some things that we've worked out with these 300 series that you can do at home to resolve these problems and ensure that they don't happen to you in the future. Come for a walk and we'll go inside and have a look. So what we have here is some components out of a 300 series engine. I've actually got two sets of components here. I have two separate engines. About 12 months ago, we noticed a standard vehicle having problems. It was on social media, it had done a motor, and I was very curious about this particular car. Stock standard, standard wheels, standard everything, right? That car did an engine, and I think that engine was replaced under warranty. Since then, I have seen 3 or 4 other standard vehicles have these same things. Now, this particular car was a modified car, so this definitely had a tune in it. We started to look at some of the data that the cars did when they come in, when they had this problem. Now, I bought 2 of these engines, not because of the fact that we're consuming that as a warranty thing. It was more the fact that if we don't have control and we don't understand what the issues are, then how can I resolve that moving forward for my customer? I contacted both customers and said, hey, I'd love to have your cars in my workshop. Let me buy these engines and let me go through this process and work out what the problem is. This first engine I bought the engine, we put a brand new engine car, got the car going. We actually at the time put our kit on that car, and now that car's gone and we haven't seen that car back since. That particular motor, I got stripped down, sent away. I got a third party to analyze some of the components in that car to work out what the engine failure was caused from. The second engine here that we bought from a customer was one that come into our shop to get a package. Now, this had 12,000 kilometers on it, and it was developing a noise before we put on the dyno. And we're doing our pre-dyno inspections and we're a little bit sus on it. Now, it was only ever so slightly. Ran it up the first run to see what's going on, and then the engine locked up solid completely. 12,000 kilometers, solid lockup. We actually dropped the oil out of it and it was full of metal. The bottom ends had a complete failure. Now, this engine is completely different to the rest. This engine was low on oil, been running around with low oil, and caused that bottom end failure. I know there was some issues with Toyota with the petrol versions over in America, and we wanted to make sure that this was something that wasn't happening here. So we pulled this down, had a look, and verified that it was low on oil and it's had some starvation issues. Never seen or heard of this ever with any other 300 series today. But the overheating issues of the engines, I have seen this on 4 different occasions. Now, those particular engines, like I said, I've only got 1 here of those engines. The other 3, very same symptoms, same scenarios with the same problem. Like I said, 3 of them are completely standard, 1 is modified. So we went through and we did some analyze on this particular engine. And what we found when we got the investigators to have a look at it is that the cylinder walls have grown to the point where the engine has overheated, right? The oil was so badly destroyed, the ad pack and the oil was gone. And the crazy thing here, and this is the kicker, it has 0-20 oil. Now, any of you guys out there that are fitters and mechanics will know that majority of our diesels running around, nothing runs a 0-20 oil. The worst thing about a 0-20 oil is that in our weather conditions with high load applications, it cannot pull heat from a motor. Oil is there for lubrication, 100%. But the other big property of oil is for cooling. And you know, it's such a very important product to have in our cars and make sure that it is right. In the handbook, it states if you are in severe conditions, i.e. towing, and there's a whole list of D notes that you can read through on your particular handbook. It says that you need to be running a 530 or a 540 oil. Now, what's really crazy is that these cars are rolling into a Toyota dealership. They have an Anderson plug on the back, or they're a chopped, 300 series, or they've got all this gear on them, and the dealerships are going, yep, 0-20, 0-20. They keep on putting 0-20 in these cars. It's not right, because they should be looking at it using common sense, going, hey, look, these cars have been driven in severe condition. We need to be looking at this oil. Now, this is not the only engine at the moment that's circulating around the world putting 0-20 in. The reason they put a 0-20 in there is to meet emissions. It's all to do with parasitic losses and trying to resolve that particular problem. The downside to it is the oil is terrible. No, it won't last 10,000 Ks under high load conditions. If you were running 0-20, you need to be servicing every 5,000. If you heat this oil up past 135 degrees, it is gone, right? And the worst thing about it is that being this oil can get to that temperature very quickly. It has a sump capacity of only 5.5 liters from 8.5 where it used to be. The oil quality is less, and therefore it needs to be changed more regularly. It's really that simple. The big thing here is that if you go to a 540 oil, which is what we recommend, you won't see this type of problem because you are giving yourself headroom to be able to cool that engine down. A lot of these cars have just been cruising along the road and they're fine over a long period of time. Oil temperature is slowly increasing and they got to the point where now they're starting to have this problem where they just can't recover. So oil quality and the quantity of that oil is extremely important. We are developing a low part sump that is coming through very shortly. That's something we've been working on as well to give us around that 20 to 30% more increase in capacity. And that's in testing at the moment. So, that soon will be out. It allows you guys to have a fair bit more in capacity and that will definitely help with the service intervals and the service life. This is obviously the crank and the bottom end girdle plate out of a 300 series. This is a catastrophe, bottom end failure. That engine's completely toast. We put that one to bed and we knew that that was a oil level problem and an oil starvation issue. If you put this engine or any engine in the same scenario, given that it had low oil, you'll end up with the same result. So I'm not really focused on that one. More or less we'll focus on the block, and we have a block. We've cut that block open and you can see in there some of the wear marks as far as where the piston is starting to grab on the skirt, and that is to do with temperature. Understand in the 300 series we are running a steel piston. As you can see, they are steel, that's a magnet. Most other diesels out there are diesels with steel pistons. This is the first diesel I've had experience with a steel piston. The reason they run a steel piston is to get better engine efficiency. They can run the combustion chamber hotter. It helps with fuel consumption, always helps with overall power, and it's something that a lot of manufacturers are starting to go to, and it's great design. However, the 020 oil baffles me. I really don't know how they've ended up with this. I guess it's from that emission point that they need to be under, and that's their threshold that they need to do. Okay. But honestly, if you guys have got a 300 series out there, they are by far my favorite car. If I won the lotto tomorrow, and I say this honestly, if I won the lotto tomorrow, besides buying a Lamborghini that I might drive on Sundays, I'd be going out and buying a 300 series again. I love them. I literally see hundreds of them come through this shop. They're a beautiful car. We did a tech line that we put up on our website that showcases about the oil, the service intervals, and to give you guys a handy hint. So when we do a handover, now when we have these cars in, before we do one of our packages, we always change the oil and oil filter to a 540 oil. We also give you a service interval package and explain to you about the servicing structure of the car. Basically make that car be reliable and safe forever. Some of the things I believe that Toyota should be doing there. This is all education. This is what it comes about, education. And I feel sorry for people that have done the right thing and relied on, these larger companies to come through and say, hey, this is really what you should be doing with this car now. The reality of it is it's just not that simple. And sometimes these things, slip through the cracks and that just doesn't happen. But I wanted to put our best foot forward, and I really do believe in the product. The product is fantastic. But I wanted to make you guys aware of what the issues are and also what to do to fix it. It's really simple. 540 oil, change the oil, change it regularly, and you'll be okay. 300 series is a great car, so don't stress. I don't want you guys sitting at home going, oh my God, I've had 020 in my car for the last, 6 months and I'm worried I've done damage. Don't worry about that. What I suggest you do is that your next service, or as soon as possible, change to a 540 oil. That's all you got to do. It's quite simple. When we start talking about brands, pick a leading brand that you can pick for the oil. But at this stage, I'm more worried about the weight of the oil going to a 540 and changing it regularly. With these engines, we've done hundreds, not just here in Australia, but overseas. We've done a lot in the UAE. We've also done stuff in Africa, as well as Russia and so forth. So a lot of these cars we have done around the world and producing really good results and surviving. Really interesting in those other places, you wouldn't believe it, but they don't run a 020 oil. A lot of those places are running a 540, which is really, really interesting to see, hey, these guys are running a 540 oil in extreme conditions, and guess what? Not having problems. This is where we're at the moment with it. We will talk a bit more about when the sump release is there. I think that's something that's going to be really cool. It'll also help with service intervals, to extend those service intervals, because now we have a larger volume. And that's something that we're working towards for guys that are traveling in, hot areas and remote areas and so forth. And that will be something that may be very beneficial for them. There's a lot of information out there, and I wanted to be clear on what was going on, so you guys have the information that you can do what you want with it. If you have any questions around what we've talked about today and you wanted to have a chat, I'm more than happy for you guys to ring the guys at the front. They can talk through any of those concerns and problems. So thanks for watching.